Okay guys, today we're gonna start with lecture 5, C++ programming. We're gonna take just a couple of easy programs to get you started, used to the tool, and then today we're gonna use an online compiler. I'm gonna show you how to get an online compiler, and we're gonna run it on Ubuntu, also on Linux base. So we can go Google. Oh, don't tell me the internet is not working now. Okay. Now I need a C++ online compiler, and there's lots of good ones out there. This is a really nice one I like to use. This is another nice one I like to use. Let's see, this one I like it because it gives you the like main include integer main, all that. It gives it. It's ready here in the code. See, this is ready, and here goes your code. So you remember, includes the input output stream library using namespace std. And I'm gonna show you how the other one, or let's go to this one. This is a really good example. Let's do this. Let me show you the differences between those two. My recording. So you can see here they're using what? stdc out. Here I don't use stdc out. Why? Here you can see using namespace std. They already have it included here. If not, if you didn't put it here, you have to put it before every definition where you're accessing the libraries. Here I'm accessing the library string to define a string. This is a data type, but I have to include a library for it, not like the other data types we took. Here is std cout. This is a get line, and I'll explain the get line and what's the difference between get line, cin, and get character. So let's go and type our code here and start. First program we're gonna take today is I need to write a C++ program to calculate the circumference of a circle. Let's say the area and circumference. Area and circumference of a circle. So don't go the hard way. There's two ways in programming. The hard way, where you start programming without analyzing your problem. The other way is the easy way, where we analyze. So let's analyze our problem. I need to calculate the area and circumference of a circle. I need to get the equation for what? The area. I need to know what variables I'm going to be using. So what's an area of the circle? If you didn't know it, that's not a problem. You can go Google area of circuit. It will give you equals what? 2, or it's gonna be area, so circumference is radius multiplied by what? Pi, which equals to 3.4 and more decimal places, but this is approximation, or it can equal 22/7. Either one of those, not all of them. So I'll put this as another comment here where I'll say pi equals this, and it's gonna be radius square radius. It's gonna look something like this. Now if you think this is hard, as they say, this is saying power 2. Radius square multiplied by pi. This is the area of the circle. You can write it in another way and say radius multiplied by radius and multiplied by pi, or pi, you can put it either way. So now we got this. What's the equation for the circumference? Circumference equals equals 2 pi 2 radius pi, or 2 pi radius, 2 multiplied by pi, let's leave it this way, and multiplied by radius. So what do we need? To calculate area, I need radius and pi. To calculate circumference, I need pi and radius. So mainly we need those two variables, and I need to declare placeholders or variables that will hold those values. And where am I gonna get this radius from? It's always preferable to make it user friendly, your program, so you're gonna get it from the user. And if you remember, in my previous lectures I divided my code into 4 parts. Part 1 was declaring my variables. Second part was cin and cout. Be careful, C++ is case sensitive, so don't put those in the comment. It's no problem. This is the comments, how I can comment a code, meaning what? They use this for documentation, so any other guy that comes and looks at your code, any other programmer, they can know what you mean by some of your code. Like, it's like explaining your code in your own language, and the compiler doesn't read this, it doesn't look at it. So let's see, declare my variables cin cout, and I can have also the third part is my algorithm or equation, and fourth part is printing the result or cout. This will be my whole code. So what can my variables be? Now you have to think, am I gonna declare them as integers, shorts, longs, float, double? What do you need it to be? It's preferred to be integer, but float will make more sense here because I have the pi where it's 3.4, and if I declare it as a float, this will enable me to input radius as a decimal point or a float. So I'm gonna need a float as radius. What else do I need? I need area to hold the value of the area, and I need the circumference. Let's leave it sir. And do I need pi? Here's how to include pi. Pi is already defined, so what we can do is we can include it. It's defined already in the math library, math.h. and why did I put .h here? Because it's included from the C library. Or you can do include what? C.math. Any of those will work, but I'll comment one of those. It's not good to leave libraries that you're not using. This is going to be costly because this library is going to be a huge code when you convert it to assembly. So let's see here. I declared this. What's my cin cout? I'm gonna print a user-friendly message saying please enter the radius, and I do \n or well end line. Either one of those will give me a new line, and this is, we're gonna keep them both, so this is gonna give me 2 new lines. We'll see how that works. And now what am I gonna input from the user? The user will see this message, please enter the radius. We're gonna input what? Radius. Remember, it's case sensitive, it has to be the same. When I say cn radius, anything I input from the keyboard, cn is reading from the keyboard. Anything I input from the keyboard is gonna take it and save it in memory. Now in memory, what do I have? I have 3 floats. A float is 4 bytes, so I have 12 bytes. 4 for radius, 4 for area, and 4 for circumference. So I'm doing cn radius. Now I need to do algorithm, and doing the declaring your variables and doing the cnc out, I think that's an easy step. The main thing in any C++ program is knowing the algorithm or equation. If you find out the algorithm or equation, you're done. So now what's the equation for area? Remember, we said it's gonna be radius multiplied by radius, or radius square multiplied by pi. Do you think it's gonna take pi this way? It's gonna tell you undefined, and usually pi is defined as m pi in the math library. So this will go and get 3.14, I think, with 8% precision. This might give me an error, not an error, a warning that I'm trying to convert a double into a float. We'll see why. MPI is a double, and I'll explain it in a minute. And now I have circumference. What's the circumference of a circle? It's gonna be 2 multiplied by radius, and multiplying it again by m. Remember, m underscore pi, which is already declared here. You don't need to declare it as a float or. So now I have those. I did the equation, the algorithm. Now I'll print my result. Let's say cout well, the area of the circle equals, what is it gonna equal? Area. And I'll have an end line. What does this mean is, what I did here is the equation, meaning whatever you enter here, radius. So if I enter, user enters 5, it's gonna take 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3.4, calculate how much is that, save it where? In this placeholder. This is a placeholder in memory. It's called area. It's declared as a float, and it's gonna hold a float. Now here, what am I doing? This is a placeholder circle. It's in memory. It's 4 bytes. I'm multiplying 2 multiplied by 5, which is 10 multiplied by 3.4, which should be 30 something, but we'll see the result in a minute. Now I'm saying here, anything between double quotes, remember, in a cout, print as is. The compiler doesn't worry about reading it, just prints it as is, and then I'm printing whatever is here. Now I'm gonna have another cout and say what? I'm gonna output the circumference. The circumference of a circle is or equals, you can put with radius this equals this, but let's leave it this way. And I need another end line to make it look good. Always I'll put for every cout an end line. So go get the value that is saved here and print it to the user. I have returned 0. Now we should be ready to go. An integer main arrow expected where? Semicolon before area radius. Let's see, go and check it, and it should be line 20. Where's line 20? It's gonna be here. I didn't like, oh no, I don't have a semicolon. Every C++ statements end with a semicolon. Run again, and now here we go. Is it gonna give us, please enter the radius? Nope. What happened? It's given, was not declared, and the scope. Here I have a misspelling. UIS, and this is on line 18. Where is that? This is good. Why do I have a misspelling? This one. Oh, line 20, sorry. Come on. What happened? Okay. Why did you do that? Multiplied by. Oh, the insert. I hate that one. Pi m underscore pi. Let's run. The area of the circle is this. It's taken here in this compiler. It's taking the input by itself, or is it reading it from a file? Let's see what's the radius here. So we already did that. So let's do cout. Could it be it took this? No way. It took the 5. Let's say cout radius, and let's see what value is taken as radius. It took this as radius. You can see it. Let's make it look better. I don't know where it got it from, but this is the way this compiler is working. Radius, and I'll have an end line. And run. I don't know why it took radius at this value. And here the area of the circle is this, and the circumference is this with radius this. So always try to make sure you got the right answer. Don't just leave it as is thinking your program ran and giving you a result it's right. So I'll put 2.4. you don't need to put all of them, just if you get an approximation, that's good. Multiplied by what area is radius, 2.1422 multiplied by 2.422. I don't need the 1. And I multiply it by pi, or 22/7, or 3.14, and this should give me an equal number to this, and that was right. Let's do the circumference, and I have radius, which is 2.422. I multiply it by pi, which is 3.14, and we multiply all that by 2, and this should give me 50 something. Okay, awesome. That means my result is really good. Let's take this, copy it, and move it to the other compiler and show you the difference. And we're not gonna take the I should take it. The using namespace std, we're not gonna take it. Let's see this. And I need to take this out. Here we can see there's no return 0. Different compilers react in different ways. We don't need the string library, and this should work, but I have to add using name space std, and let's do run. Okay, we didn't add the C library for the pi. I'll do include. You can see the error here is saying MPI was not declared, so it's not knowing what's MPI. That means we forgot the library. We'll do math.h or C math, and now it should work. Please enter a radius. Let's put same as the previous one, 2.44, or I think it was this, 18 and 15. Here's the result, and I'll post the code in the not the description. The description, I don't know, it doesn't like the extraction operators, which are those. So I have to put them in the comments, so you'll find the code in the comment section. Now let's do another program. And what can we do here? And I want to leave my way of doing it. Oh, let's go run this also in Unix, Linux. Here it didn't give us return 0. Let's see, I think on Unix it will give us. And let's do cd change directory to YouTube. What was it? Videos. Yep. Let's do nano. Open an editor. Name it circle.cpp, and I'm gonna paste the code here, and let's Control X. It might give us an error on the 0, but let's see. How do I compile it? First compile G++, okay, G++, dash O, and I want my running program to be Gaith. And what am I gonna compile? circle.cpp. Oh, it took it, so it didn't give us anything on the return 0. Radius 422 or 2.422. Enter. We had, remember, if we had to print the radius, we added it, so that's why it's printing it again here. The area of the circle, the circumference of the circle. Awesome, good. Let's do clear, and we'll come back to this in a minute. I want to go to this one. I did all this. Let's take this one out, and now what do we need as a program? Is our second program. Our second program is to write a C++ program that calculates the average grade for a student. 5 grades between 0 to 100 are entered by the user. So now analyze, don't go there, and for now we don't need the include library. So let's see, calculate the average grade for a student. 5 grades for different subjects. Let's say each subject has a grade, so we're gonna input those 5 from the user using a CN, and we're gonna today I'm not gonna give you the easy way. Let's say there's another easy way to do it, and we'll take it when we take for loops or loops. So now declaring my variables, no, we go back here and say what do we need. We need to declare well grade 1 that will hold the first grade, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. What else do I need to declare? I need to declare a value named average, a variable named average that will hold. What's my equation gonna be? I add the 5 grades, and let's copy paste. That would be easier for us. Remember, I add them. And if you remember the precedences, the priorities of arithmetic operation, which is the plus, equal, plus, subtraction, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, mod operator, this, and here if I wrote in my program to calculate average, I'm gonna find the sum of the 5 grades and divide it by 5. If we did it this way in C++, it's gonna take this 5 grade 5, divide it by 5, and then add all this to it. So it's gonna give us the result, a wrong result. Why is that? The division has a higher priority or higher precedences, so this will be the first arithmetic operation. It's gonna take grade 5 divided by 5, and we don't want to do that. To solve the problem, what do? We add parentheses to say what? Parentheses have higher priority, so it's saying do whatever is inside the parentheses, which is this, adding those 5 grades, and then divide it by 5. So now now we can start, and then you can output the result. So I need to define my variables. What are you going to define them as? We can define them as integers, but we don't want that. We want to save memory. I'll define them as shorts because we know they're going to be between 0 and 100, and a short will take that. And I prefer using grade 1, so we don't have to put all grade 1, grade 2. Just put GR and 3, GR 4, GR 5. So what's the difference between doing it as short and as integer? By declaring those 5, if I had it as an integer, and that mainly depends on the compiler and the machine you're using, this is gonna give me 4 bytes each if I declare them as integers. If those were integers, here let's say integers, I'm gonna have 5 grades multiplied by 4 bytes each. This is gonna give me 20 bytes. When I'm declaring them as short, on the other hand, short is 2 bytes, so I'm gonna have 5 multiplied by 2 equals 10 bytes, and I'm saving what? Half of the memory. This is 20 and this is 10. So that's why it's better to declare it as short. Average always should be as float. You don't want to lose any part, any data. Average, we don't need to give it an initial value, and I'll declare it. I like to do it as AVG all the time, or you can put it as average. Every C++ statement ends with a semicolon. Here we can say what? Print a friendly message saying cout. Extraction operators, please enter 5 grades, and here we say grades should be between 0 and 100, and I'll do \n, and I'll do a semicolon. This, remember, print as is, cout, double quotes, print everything as is. So it's gonna print this to the user, indicating to the user what he or she needs to do when the program is running, and the \n will give me a new line. Now we can do this cn. This is a cn grade 1, and I can do cn grade 2, but to make it easier on us, what we do is we do grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. It's gonna take 5 grades. I don't need this now, and what we're gonna do is now we need the algorithm, the equation. What was the equation? We had this one, and I'm gonna show you how the result is gonna differ. I'm gonna say average, this in memory, this placeholder in memory is gonna hold the whatever value I get from the following calculation. What do I need to calculate? Grade 1 plus grade 2 plus grade 3 plus grade 4 plus grade 5. And remember, if I did it as divided by 5, let's see what is it gonna give me. Now here I'll do cout the average grade for the student equals this, and I'll put here, what am I gonna print? Anything between double quotes gonna print as is. So we printed this as a friendly message, and now what do I need to print out? Whatever is inside average in memory, which is this. So I'll say AVG, and I'll do an end line. Sometimes I like my code to look better, so I'll add another cout end line. Why didn't I put it here? We can't do end line. We can't even put anything after end line. We have to put a semicolon and end it, and then do another cout on a different end line. So I have this, and to show you the result in a better way, okay, let's add it here, paste. I'm gonna have two values. I'm gonna declare average 1 and average 2, and show you the two different results in here, by having it this one, and by having the parentheses, where it means first sum the 5 grades. Here it means sum the 5 grades and then divide by 5. Here it means what? Divide grade 5 by 5 and then add it to the rest. Here I have to change which one am I gonna have. ABG1 here, and let's say the average testing. Let's make it testing, and so you can know the I capitalized it so we can know. And this is the real one. I think my program now is good to run. Let's see. Oh, it's giving us the same thing. It's taking values by itself here. Okay, now why is custom input? Let's see. It's taking whatever is in memory and it's adding it here. It's also taken, so bye bye. Should say here let's copy this code. I assume I didn't need anything else. Let's copy all of it and go to this friend and let's see with the return 0, will it make any difference? Will it give me an error? It might. Different compiler. Sorry, it's taking long. I don't know. Maybe the 0 made a difference. Let's run it here until we. Here I can use nano, but now I like to teach you on different stuff, and we can say grade ABG, name it .cpp. And here I'm gonna compile it, GC++ and -o. I'm gonna use the Gaith. And what was the name? Grade 5. And now I'll do enter 5 grades. I'm gonna enter my grade, so 95, and always put an enter. 99, enter. Let's take one so we get the average a little bit varying in the. See the difference? The average testing, where we had what? The without any parentheses for the equation, it gave this, and we can do this. Less grade the first one is giving us this 371, and this is giving us 383. This is the right one where we use the parentheses. Be careful to this, guys, it's really important. But here, did it give us any floating points? We're gonna change it also. Let's reopen the code. I declared those as floats. Did it give me any float? No. Could be the numbers, but it's not the numbers. I have to cast it, and we talked about casting in I think lecture 3 or 4. You can go and check it. It's really important. I can do this, or I can say what? Float 5. It will cast this to a float, make it 5.0, and then an integer over a float will give me what? An integer over a float will give us a float, equals a float, let's say. but an integer over an integer equals an integer, and this is just documentation. So let's run our program, and I would like to add more spaces. I can either put backslash in or new line, but I prefer backslash in because we can put it real quick. Save and close this. Let's go compile the program again and run it, and let's use the same value, so you make sure it's doing 95, enter, 99, enter, 87, enter, 78, enter, 60, enter. You can see here it gave me what, 83.8. It wasn't here though. I declared average as what, as a float, but integer over an integer will give me an integer, and then it will save it as a float. So integer and over integer will get rid of this part and save it as this, save it in a float, no problem in that. And now do I need, okay, we need to check calculator. We didn't finish. Don't think you finished. Lots of students fall on in that mistake. 95 plus, I need to make sure it's the right result. How did you know it's 83.8? $4.19, and here we can divide it by, where's division? Divide it by 5 equals 83.8, which is the right answer. Let's see, did the compiler finish? Oh, so it's that, I think it didn't like the return 0. I didn't do, this should be good now. Okay, see, now it worked. It didn't like the return 0. Remember, different compilers, they act in different ways depending on how they here's mine. I need here to put what, 5.0. You run it again, but remember this to cast it so it can give you a float. I'll post both of these codes in the comment section. Please let me know if you have any questions. After this, lecture 6 is gonna be about if else statements. Thank you guys.